is my complete pleasure to welcome on stage the incredible Sophie Devonshire. Sophie Devonshire is the CEO of the Marketing Society, the global community of marketing change leaders, a best-selling author, a dynamic leader, and with experience in companies like Coca-Cola, P&G, and several award-winning ventures. And she's going to bring on stage the lovely Kate, and they're going to have an amazing discussion about inclusive thinking and how it can spark innovation, and so brands like yours can better resonate with more of their audience. Thank you so much for your time.
Through the tears, through the tears. Wow. Good afternoon, everybody. It is brilliant to be here, and at this important moment in time, in the afternoon, I'm Sophie. I've got 3 very quick things that I want to cover this afternoon before we get started. First, I will, of course, give a visual description of myself. Secondly, I do want to just talk about why it is so important and brilliant we are here today. And thirdly, why you should be excited about what you're just about to hear next. And I'm going to ask you to do something. So I'm Sophie. I'm the Chief Executive of the Marketing Society. We are the global community of marketing change leaders. And we have been supporting Rise and Ali and the Creative Equals brilliant team for a really long time for some very important reasons. We've talked today about building brands and building legacies. And at this crazy, complicated moment in time when everything is going so super fast, I'm really focused on the Marketing Society members, on people in our industry, on those marketers that mean business. And today, we have talked a lot. We have shared the stories and the data and the ideas and the inspiration about how inclusion is for good and for growth. Both those things. And the stories that we share help make that true. But it's always about the individuals and everybody here and how we come together. So I'm Sophie. I am a little bit blonde, a little bit short, which is just one of the reasons why I have my rainbow wedges on here today. I am a white woman. My pronouns are she and her. And I am wearing over my black jumpsuit a bright pink jacket because I want to represent not just the Marketing Society's brand colours, because never knowingly underbranded, but to represent the best and the brightest optimism there is out here today. And I have found today to be full of that optimism. But I also know that there has been a hell of a lot today, and I was just chatting to Ali about all that's been covered, and everybody's brains slightly exploding. So I'm just going to ask everybody here, if you are able to stand, please do one thing with me. Let's just stand and do a power pose and have a stretch. Very, very quickly, everybody. Let's just do it. Let's stretch it out, do the power pose. Brilliant, stretch it right out. Feel the power, everybody. Thank you so much, and sit down. Look at the energy. Look at the energy and the power we have. Those of you who have watched the TED Talk on Power Pose, some people think it's valid, some people don't. I think there's something about reminding ourselves of the power we have and the responsibility. We started the day, we've talked a lot today about great power and great responsibility. I also think it's worth reminding ourselves that we can stretch ourselves a little bit further. At the Marketing Society, we talk about wanting to share the stories and the ideas and the perspectives that expand our belief in what great marketeers can achieve. What you're about to hear in this next very fast and interesting session is the story of one marketing leader who has pioneered something which I think is incredibly inspiring. And one of the reasons I love this story is because, as a bit of a geeky marketer, it's always good to talk about the product. Not everybody has power and influence over the product in what they do, but of course it really matters. So this story is about a pioneer, and it's about a product. And we're going to cover very, very quickly the story of Kate Maunders, who is the Global VP at Primark, and what she's done to create change, to lead change, to be the change maker in developing a fantastic, game-changing new product for Primark. It's going to be quick. There's a lot to cover. She and I have decided we're going to stand up and do it. So be ready. Give a round of applause to the brilliant Kate Maunders. Where's your bras? Where's the things? It's good. We're going to stand up so everybody at the back can see us to keep the energy high. Kate, tell us a little bit about you for those who want a visual description.
Absolutely. So hi, my name is Kate. I'm a 35-year-old white woman with long brown hair. I am quite tall, as girls go, which is why I'm wearing flats. And I'm currently wearing a new range from Primark. So, of course, always repping the brand.
Excellent. Now, Kate, I want to talk about this amazing new range that was introduced at Primark to understand where it started. So this is an accessibility range, it's adaptive. And we talked, right this morning, we talked about knickers, right? Where did this start? Did it start with knickers?
It did. So it started with underwear. So if you haven't seen, Primark has launched a range of adaptive products. And if you don't know what adaptive clothing is, then you are not alone. And I will kind of delve into a little bit more about what that is and what product we brought to market. But it did initially start with underwear. So a piece of advice is if you're going to enter the product world and you're going to become more accessible is look at what you're already good at and look at where you've already invested time, energy and hard product research, which is where we felt comfortable starting with underwear. We have period pants, we have a breast cancer range, we have a menopause range. So actually starting with underwear felt like a really sensible place when we already knew we had some authority in that space and we'd been working with some really good garment technicians. Underwear is also the first thing you put on in the morning. It's the most intimate item of clothing that you own. And if you're unable to put that clothing on yourself, there's something around dignity there, right? So we wanted to be able to give that back to people. So that's where we started.
So classic innovation lessons start with your strengths, foundation garments of everything that's going on. So you started with the bras, which I think we're going to see in a little bit as you're going to show us
yes,
what you've
there
got.
should be some going around the room. And we've
Kate is showing her bras around the room. They'll be following.
And then after bras, it landed really well, and we knew that we wanted to do more. You've been given so many statistics and facts over the last few hours, but I promise you that this one will stay with you. There are more clothes designed for dogs than disabled people. That's mad, right? And at Primark, we genuinely are a retailer for everybody, and that needed to include everybody. So we took 49 of our best-selling items, and we adapted them. And we knew we did not have the authority to do this ourselves. So we worked with, and this is big point number 2, you don't know what you don't know. You need to work with experts in this space who represent the communities that you want to serve in order to do that with credibility, authority, and authenticity. So we worked with Victoria Jenkins, who is just the most phenomenal fashion designer. She owns a brand called Unhidden. And we took 49 of our bestsellers. And what was really important was these were trend-led. We didn't want this to be utilitarian clothing. It needed to serve a purpose, but we also wanted it to be fashionable. 80% of disabled people have said that they have not felt comfortable attending a certain event because they didn't feel like their clothes matched the event. A job interview, a wedding. So we wanted to bring out some clothing that looked good, but also served a purpose, whether that's a dress with a discreet zip for stoma access, or every single pocket in any of our adaptive range has hidden tube access. We have magnetic fastenings. You'll see this on the front fastening bra. Also, who decided a fastening should be on the back of a bra? That was the worst idea ever. So not only are we serving the disabled community, but when you look wider than that, if you break your arm, if you have a temporary disability, actually some of the product innovation that we've brought to market, and actually the first high street retailer to bring this to market at an affordable price point, is just something that I'm unbelievably proud of.
It's an amazing story, right? Incredible. Classic innovation idea there. You're bringing in the insight from the people who actually need it and want it. And it just, you know, that dog stat is incredible. But you've got insight, you've got innovation, you've got the right people getting involved in it all. You're making it happen, you're thinking about the pricing, all these things coming together. I'm sure it wasn't easy to do, Kate, to make that happen. And part of the challenge in being a pioneer, being the first ones to go, I guess there's also that piece of you need to, as you're doing with us today, educate people about why this matters and, if no one's done it before, why not? Tell us about the education in the communication.
That was absolutely key. And again, we knew we didn't have the skills in-house. So we worked with the absolute powerhouse that is Dr. Shani Danda. If you are not familiar with Shani, look her up. She will blow your mind. And she is a specialist in this area in terms of disability, communication. And I think we all got into comms or marketing because we love language and we love talking to people, but I think one of the huge barriers to entry when we talk about accessibility is we don't feel comfortable because we don't know the right language to use. And the phrase, there's no such thing as a silly question, can be bandied around, but the fact of the matter is you feel uncomfortable asking the question. And Shani created a really safe space for us, and I brought together every single owner of a marketing channel or customer touchpoint, and they were educated on the product, how it came to life, the functionality, the language to use. So there was this whole education piece about the product, and then we started looking at accessible marketing, be it alt text, image descriptions on social posts, which we rolled out for launch, and will be coming to every single one of Primark's social media posts at the end of this month, which is something I'm so incredibly proud of. And then it fed through to the event that we hosted. There's no point bringing to life accessible clothing for the disabled community if you're not then creating accessible spaces. So we also now have a blueprint for every single influencer event that we host in our 17 markets around the world to ensure that those events are as accessible as possible.
This is such a brilliant checklist of tangible, actionable inspiration, right? Because that's inclusion baked all the way through. You've got inclusion doing it because it's for an audience there, but you've got inclusion of insight as you go through the process and building the brand from inside out, so you've got everybody behind you. Just think it's a fantastic, straightforward case study. So, but this is only the start of it, surely. What's next? What are you excited about? What do you want to see?
Absolutely. So next up for Primark, some really exciting things I can't tell you about. But if you are the parent of a
Watch this space.
Watch this space. If you are the parent of a neurodivergent child, this summer is going to be very exciting with some products that we are bringing to market. You know what I'm really excited about? Change in the wider industry. More competitors. Like, it's not often as a retailer you go out and you say, I want more people to be doing exactly what we're doing, right? Like, you want to own a market. We don't. Because disabled people shouldn't just be given the option to shop at Primark on the high street. I want to see M&S, I want to see Next, I want to see Uniqlo. I want to see big brands with big voices and big power for change go out and step forward. And I want to hear what they're doing and innovating in this space. Actually, I want some competition.
But this is 21st century leadership. We're not competing, we're collaborating within the industry, within everything that's happening, if we truly want to lead positive change. And I think this is such a great example, not just of thought leadership, but thoughtful leadership all the way through. Now, Kate, I think, I'm biased, but at the moment I think marketeers have never been more important, especially in big global organizations, in the ones with heft and scale. Are you, with all this that's happening, are you proud to be a marketer right now? Why does marketing matter in this story?
Because we're giving a voice to people who haven't been able to be heard before. And that is phenomenally important. Regardless of the size of brand that you work for, you have a voice. And I think we are obligated, honestly, in this day and age, to put our best foot forward and make as much noise as we physically can. Start little fires, because that's how big fires start, right? So get a match.
Fire starters in the room, you've heard that. And that point about together we can achieve so much more than alone, bringing everybody together, sharing the stories of what's working makes such a difference as well. Thank you so much, Kate, for being with us today. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this. Together we can achieve more than alone.
Absolutely. Thank you.